Alright, that game audio is really boring because we're just chilling in like a little base station for the game, but I am back somehow. I still feel dead. I still feel like I could keel over at any second. I don't know, this past week I've just been so unbelievably exhausted. I mean, even tonight, I got off work, didn't leave my bedroom. I literally just crawled into bed and didn't get up until my alarm went off at like 7:30 to start getting ready for stream. I don't know. I've been so exhausted. And I know part of it is work. It's been weirdly busy recently, and they've been doing more stupid shit. Because, of course, they have. Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, no, I really want to stream tonight. You know, I hadn't streamed in like a week. I really want to. And I was like, I don't really have it in me to do like a full RPG tonight. I don't have it in me to do voices. I want to play a game and just yap for a while. So we've landed on Powerwash Simulator 2. I don't have the menu up. I was testing the audio. But, yeah. This I figured was as good a choice as any. I have not started playing the game yet. A very dear friend of mine gifted me this for Christmas because she plays it quite a bit and loves multiplayer as well. So that was one thing that was on our bucket list, was to play the game together. So that's something that will happen at some point. The unfortunate reality of adult life is that things don't always work out that way. But, yeah. I also still have not fixed my camera positions in OBS, so unfortunately we're stuck with the camera where it is for the moment until I do sit down and fix it. It was a pain in the ass to get it set up the first time, just because OBS is what it is. And I don't know if the Move plugin's outdated or what the case is, but I'm going to have to get that figured out at some point. Like I said, I've not even had the energy to just get on my computer in the last week, so that's been on the back burner. Like, the stove is like 16 times the normal size, and it is at the back. But one thing that has happened, one thing that I'm attempting to keep up with, I know part of it has just been me feeling really down. And one of the things that's really bugged me in the last several years, I don't take pictures in my day-to-day life anymore. And I don't know if I just saw like one too many tribute posts for people's like passed away pets or like family members or whatever, but it just really started bugging me that I don't take pictures. So I, in fact, went and bought, it's like a little like Bluetooth printer, and it prints out little like 2x3 stickers of like pictures from your phone. And I've been trying to do that every day, and I haven't done one for today. So what we're gonna do? Oh my god, no, shut up. Sorry, I'm like trying to hold my phone up here. The thing is that it's very, very, very impossible to get like my entire setup because my bookshelves are so close behind me. So that's cute. We'll go ahead and print it, just for funsies. I've been sticking them in like a little book. Just like a little like journal type thing I have floating around, like a tiny one. Not much bigger than this printer. And just like, I don't know, making myself do like little doodles around it and stuff. Just really wanting to, do something, keep up with memories, and just have like a creative thing to do. Okay. Yeah, we can connect here. App's kind of slow. I'm not going to edit it at all or add any stickers. I can add stickers. I'm not going to. I'm just going to print as is, because we'll be here 30 years otherwise. I will say, the little sticker paper is so expensive for this. It was like $30 to get a box of 50. Was it 50 or was it 30? I don't even remember. I have like the extras in a drawer. But yeah, no, it's super expensive. But it's been fun. I don't know. Like, my other thought was like a Polaroid, but the thing is, I'm never going to remember to take a Polaroid with me. It's hard enough for me to remember to take pictures when I'm out doing fun things. Usually it's my friends that remember, and I'm like, oh yeah, that is a good idea. It is a good idea to do that. Oh, here we go. It's starting to print, I think. Yeah, it's flashing the different colors. Sick. So we'll get a little look-see of what this looks like. There's really not much on my screen. I think there's like I have like stream stuff up, of course, and then I have I think this is... Oh, yeah, it's the OBS forums about the Move plugin, because I was trying to look into why it wasn't working very well last time. So that's all I have on my screen other than the game. But... Alright, it's printing. I have noticed that like there's just one spot where it seems to like kind of get stuck for a second. Okay. Cute. Look at that. Just a little picture of my setup. You can see my stream deck there. And like my phone charger. And my full 3 monitors that I have now. So that'll go in my little book later. Cute. Alright, enough dicking around. Let's play the game. Starting with the removals van. I did play the demo, so I did do the first 2 levels, I think. But it'll be fun. Great news! You've fully moved in and the removal van's moved to the wash bay, awaiting your expertise. Don't think the van should pose too much trouble, despite you having to sell off most of your equipment. I know we got a bit carried away at the auction, but trust me, there's so much more potential in this place. Oh, and Jess says not to worry about paying for the van hire. In fact, she'll pay you. Alright. I've mostly played Powerwash Simulator on my Steam Deck, so I'm gonna have to get used to the controls here. Oh. Okay. Oh, here's the different nozzles. Oh, the different ones. And then the soaps and such. And then, what is it, control to... Oh, that's different. Neat. Okay. How do I turn the nozzle? Alright, we'll go through the controls. R. Nice, because I do that a lot. Okay. Burp, burp, burp. Change washers. I don't actually know the difference. Change nozzles. Change extensions. Ooh, we have extensions. Dirt highlight is Q. Okay. Free aim mode is C. Oh, I hate that. I hate free aim mode. No. And the task list is with tab. Okay. Nice. And, of course, the menu is escape. Alright. Let's get going. Okay. The audio is really loud in my ears. I don't know if it is on the recording, but I am going to turn that down if I can. Water volume. It's like 40. I'm sure changing the reverb doesn't actually do anything now that I think about it. Okay. That's much better. It's just, if it's too loud in my ear, it's going to be too hard for me to talk over. It might actually still be too loud in my ear. We may make the volume for the water really low, but I hope that's not annoying, but otherwise it's going to be really annoying for me. Oh, I hate that I can't do like... Okay, there we go. How's that? Oh, that's much better. Okay. Yeah, I also picked this because I can just yap for a while, and I think that's just really what I want to do. I don't have it in me to, like, do a lot of dialogue reading, and especially with Harvestella, which was the original scheduled title for tonight. You know, I usually do, like, something akin to voices for everyone, and that's just, it's a lot. It's a lot when I'm already exhausted. I was literally debating at, like, 7:30. I was sitting up in bed, and I was like, what if I just don't stream again tonight because I'm so tired? And I was like, no, I really want to. It's not that I don't want to. It's that I'm so tired. So, a good compromise here. Like, all of the games I've been playing recently have been, like, you know, these, like, JRPG, like, super involved storyline titles. So I think just taking the evening to do something else will be very helpful. And this is the kind of thing I can really, like, sink my teeth into. I get super into, like, just making sure every little speck is gone. Alright. Nope. Here we go. That's what I want. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. It's been an interesting week. Like I said, work has been, awful. It's been really busy, and I feel like, you know, like, part of my job is customer interaction, and I feel like some of the people have just been really, like, huge jerks. I don't know if it's something, like, with the holidays, now that the holidays are over, people are like, oh, you know, let me come out of my little hovel to, you know, scream at people and make everyone else's, you know, make my problems everyone else's fault. You know, whatever the case may be. But it's been very exhausting. I've been directly insulted so many times this week where it's normally not the case. Like, I've had people swearing and stuff, but, like, I got called a bitch and a fucking idiot in the span of, like, 24 hours. And I was like, dude, really? Because it was over, like, the stupidest shit, too. Like, you know. Like, this particular scenario is not in any way, shape, or form my fault, nor is it really my problem. I just have to deal with you calling in because you didn't manage your own issues. So, very, very annoying, very frustrating. But we made it. And hopefully things will be less shit in the coming whatever. They've also been changing people's schedules around instead of hiring more people, which has been super great. Like, I'm already on closing, so, you know, that's not going to change. But a lot of people who have way more seniority than I do and have been on the morning shift for a while are getting moved to mornings, so that's going over super well. There's just been a lot of bullshit. I can't get into the super specifics of it, but it's just the kind of thing that's like, wow, really, guys? Really? There's the front lights panel. Where is it, like, something under here? Something about the panel. Is it over here? Yep, there we go. Okay. Yeah, it's just made work suck more. Which is pretty impressive considering how much I hate my job on a regular basis. I'm actually going to meet with, like, my doctor and be like, listen, because my job is usually really good about, like, accommodations for different conditions, and it sounds stupid, but, like, there have genuinely been so many days where I'm like, I would rather rip my skin off than be here today. And I've either called off or, like, suffered. So some people might be like, oh, it's stupid, you're abusing resources, whatever. But, like, you know, intermittent FMLA is a thing. And even if it's not something that I use really ever, just having the option to be like, you know what? No, actually, I don't feel like putting myself through, like, anxious hell today. I don't know. I'll see what my doctor says. I am also... I set up an appointment specifically to discuss ADHD medication. Because, listen, it's been 28 years, and, you know, it's been alright, but it's not great. It is not great in the slightest, and it never has been. But really now, as a grown-up, like, I'm just tired, man. I want my brain to work. I'm at least lucky in that, you know... in this modern day and age, I don't forget bills. Because, good lord. Like, I had that thought today. Like, you know, I was like, man, you know, I've never actually been, like, late with a utility bill or anything, which is, like, crazy. Because I forget, you know, the tiniest stuff in my day-to-day life. You know, like, I was supposed to set up this appointment with my doctor weeks ago, and I kept forgetting because my brain just does not work. But thank God I remember to pay my electric bill. Cat. Hi, buddy. So cute. Yeah, no, it's been awful, and part of it too is because ADHD isn't just, oh, I forget stuff all the time. There's also, like, the executive dysfunction element, which is really annoying, because it's like, I have things that I want to do, both, like, you know, things that I need to do that are important, and also things that I want to do in my spare time that I just don't have the mental capacity to do. And I would, you know, and I know a big part of that is just, you know, the absolute lack of dopamine. Like, there's a variety of reasons, but that's one thing that I'm definitely, like, hoping for with attempting to medicate for that is, you know, that with my brain functioning a little closer to what it's supposed to. Sorry, I'm just going to angle this up here. Hopefully with my brain functioning a bit better, you know, I'll have a better shot at doing this other stuff. Yeah, because there's other, like, nitpicky stuff that I've really wanted to do, but I just haven't been able to bring myself to do it. Like, editing down some of my VODs to post to YouTube is, like, a, you know, short form. I don't know why using the word content just, like, makes me, like, ugh. But it's, like, you know, short form stuff is one thing that one idea I've been toying with. And I just haven't been particularly motivated to do that. Because I just don't have the ability to focus. So that's one thing that I would like to do. Alright, we'll get all the nooks and crannies here. This game scratches a very particular itch for me. You know, just like the getting really tight in with like cleaning and stuff, and you know, getting all the little bits that like that makes my brain, you know, just so happy. Okay, rear lights panel. Okay, I think there's still stuff on the or exhaust. I don't know, car parts. Yeah. Okay. This is the part that I remember. Oh, the stupid smiley face. That I remember taking away on the demo was like doing the inside for whatever reason. I don't know why it felt like the inside took forever. But it was also like I was probably super tired. I'm like tired most of the time, which is not healthy, in all honesty. But I don't know, like I get good sleep and then my body's like sweet, and then you know, as I'm like getting used to being well rested, I have a night where it's like I sleep maybe 6 hours. It's like fantastic. Exactly what I wanted. So that's exactly what happened to me this past week. I was like sleeping well and it felt good, and then like I don't know, I just like I was like, cool, I'm in bed, I'm gonna get plenty of good sleep, and then I just didn't get to sleep, and it was awful. Alright. Let's get the back side of this door. We'll say the ding is very loud in my ear. There we go. Alright. It's so dumb, but I just constantly have the desire to be like, probably should not draw dicks on stream. I don't know if Twitch would have a problem with that, so we'll do this instead. Aw, and we'll even do the... So cute. Did anyone else ever do that? Like this specific type of heart, like with the line, like the arrow through it and all that fun stuff? Because I remember doing that quite a bit when I was, like, younger. It's all gone now, though. Goodbye. Are there people that specifically, like, do art in Powerwash Simulator? That has to be a thing, right? Because, like, you have the different nozzles with the different strengths, so you can, like, take off less stuff, right? I mean, this is probably not the best example, but, like, surely you can do shading and shit with that, right? That has to be a thing. And I just haven't come across it. I would be very surprised if it wasn't a thing, even if it's like a very small, like very specific, you know, subset of the internet. Because people do crazy shit all the time. Any kind of game that gives you any kind of free will, people do crazy shit with. Sorry, I keep like hitting the mouse wheel and going too far. Here we go. Is this already cleaned? No, the roller shutter frame is not 100% clean. Oh, there we go. Wait. This is not clean. It is not clean. Oh, wait. I can hit Q. There you are. There we go. Nice. That's another thing, too, and that's another reason for, like, the photos and stuff, is, like, I'm essentially turning it into, like, the world's stupidest scrapbooking project. Wherein it's not cute at all. And, like, I'm someone who's very much a perfectionist. I don't like doing things if I feel subpar, and I feel like this is, you know, I feel like this is not an uncommon thing for people. But it's really bad for me. And so having a project where I intentionally, you know, don't go out of my way to make it super perfect, you know, that's another reason why. It's just, you know, making myself do something creative without the pressure of being like, I need to be perfect at this 100% or it's not worth doing. Because I know that's part of it too. Like, there's so many creative things I want to do. I have a lot of hobbies and things that I want to do. But I just don't, like, want to do it because I feel like it's not up to the standard that I keep for myself typically. So, you know, very constructive. Definitely leads to a lot of healthy, you know, regular creative endeavors. But yeah, I don't know. There's a method to the stupidity. Also, that printer was like stupidly expensive. I don't recommend buying something that expensive. Go online somewhere. But I don't know. For what it is, it's, you know, it's serving its purpose well. I didn't need anything crazy, necessarily, like, high quality. You know? But, I don't know. I'm having a good time just making myself, like, you know, once a day being like, hey, you know, capture something that, you know, showcases what you did today, or, you know, kind of helps you picture what your life is right now, or how you're doing. And then throw it in a stupid little book, and draw around it with highlighters or something, you know? Write a couple sentences, make it a thing. Because there's so much of my life over the last several years that I don't remember, or I don't have, like, photographic, you know, like, not evidence is weird to say, but, like, you know, I don't have like memories, like, around really, like, you know, there are people who take thousands of photos all the time, and I just haven't been that person in so long. And I don't, you know, I want to have pictures. You know, I want to have those memories to look back on. But I just haven't really felt like, you know, having that record of my life. So, in a way, this is kind of like addressing that thing that I've been dealing with. Oh, the ceiling was so annoying when I played the demo. I remember that now. Because it's such a tight space. Okay. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to pull myself out of a slump is really the long and short of it. So I'm going to use whatever stupid means necessary. I have also been playing Stardew Valley again. I essentially razed my mods folder to the ground and started over. And I found some really cool ones. It's been really interesting to play through, because there's been some really cool, like, expansions or, like, really, like, interesting mechanic type things that have come out. And it's been really interesting to play with those. Along with, you know, some of the mods that I'm used to playing with. Like, of course, stuff like Stardew Valley Expanded and, you know, kind of like the quintessential expansion mod things that, you know, everybody plays with pretty much. So it's been interesting to kind of switch things up, and just based on what I've downloaded, I can tell that like this particular save file is going to be one for the long haul, which makes me excited. Part of the reason why I like doing this sort of thing is because a lot of times I get burnt out, and I don't want to play anymore, and it's been like a year or two in game. I've only gotten to Ginger Island once, because I usually burn myself out before then, you know, doing a bunch of other shit. So this go around, this has been really nice. You know, it's been a lot slower. I haven't felt like I needed to go, like unlock everything, have the biggest, most perfect like crop fields, and get all the animals right away, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's been super fun. Okay, is there anything else in here? The floor. Alright. Shoe prints are mucky. I don't know why this made me think of it, but there was one day I was driving to a doctor's appointment, and I'm pulling up to a red light, and there is a truck about maybe this big in front of me, maybe a little bit bigger, and it has like the back like rolling doors open, which already alarm bells. And then and so I'm sitting right behind this thing. I don't get like right up on, you know, I don't get as close as I normally would to like the next vehicle. And as the light changes, I'm like, I'm gonna take like an extra second or two to let it pull forward, because I don't know, some just don't feel right about this. And thank heavens I did, because a furniture dolly comes rolling out of the back and like crashes to the ground in the middle of the intersection. And they didn't notice. Like, I followed them up the road, and they just kept going. And I like tried to get their attention, but like they turned, or like I don't remember exactly what happened, but yeah, someone definitely got fired. Bubbles. Hi, buddy. I think the only cat we haven't pet is Squeak. I think there's like a thing for petting all the cats on each level, right? There are more boxes out here than there were in the demo, unless I'm misremembering. But there you are. There's Squeak. Cute. Yeah, no, that was crazy. It was like early in the morning too. I just remember like going to my appointment and being like, okay. Like, someone's definitely, if not completely fired, they're gonna be in a lot of trouble later. Everything else was like pushed towards like the front of the truck. And it seemed like it was strapped down. I think it was just the dolly that was kind of loose. For their sake, I hope nothing else fell out. But I know I wasn't the only one that saw it. I just like, I was, you know, I did my best, but they were not paying attention to me. So maybe they figured it out, maybe they didn't. But it was definitely an interesting time, though. It's one of the times where, because I'm not a fantastic driver, I will be the first to say that, but I have pretty okay instincts. And this was definitely one of those times where I was like, something is telling me to not move forward just yet. Oh, man. Okay, there's that one. Oh, is it stuff around the front? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Seeing stuff like this just makes me think of like weird, either like moving truck incidents or like the time that I drove an airport shuttle. I did not work for the airport. It's just that's where our shuttle went 99% of the time. At one of the hotels I worked at. Because there was an airport nearby, and we contracted with a couple of the airlines to house their flight crews. And so I would drive the shuttle a lot of the time. We would get, like, regular guests that would request the shuttle and stuff, but it was not nearly as often. Because we would have multiple flight crews, like, every single day, like half a dozen flight crews every day. And that was always an interesting time. I remember I had a flight crew, like, in the shuttle, and I'm, like, merging onto the on-ramp to get onto the interstate. And as I'm doing so, you know, the flight crew is just, like, in the back chatting, whatever, and some guy peels across, like, all of the lanes to go in front of me. And I remember the flight crews being like, oh, my God. And I was like, yeah, people drive like that. And it's one of those where it's like, if I were in my car, I would flip him off. But I can't, because the hotel's logo is splashed on the side of this van. But believe you me, I want to. I remember them being, like, very annoyed on my behalf. They were like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. And I was like, yeah, well, people do that. This is common. There we go. Yeah, and the whole thing with that shuttle that was so annoying is there was an occasion, it wasn't me, it was one of my coworkers was going to, I think he had just dropped off a flight crew, and some guy in a rental car in the airport parking lot, like, completely blew through a stop sign and nearly totaled it. And so for a good few months, we didn't have a shuttle. So we were constantly, you know, relying on the local cab company, which was not great, or, like, Uber. Because Yellow Cab wouldn't come out near us for whatever reason. And so we had, like, the local company, which was, they had a reputation. Or, you know, we were calling Ubers. And the thing is, we didn't have, like, a hotel, like, you know, management credit card to use. Like, I was having to, when we didn't have a cab available, I would have to pay with my own money and then pay myself back from the cash drawer, which meant our cash drawer was constantly short. And the thing is, I'm not from the area that I live in now. I'm originally from, like, 1,000 miles away, and my bank account was for a local bank back home. So it was like, I'm getting all of this cash, paying myself back for these stupid Ubers, and I can't even deposit it. Like, I had to open an account with a national bank so I could finally do something with it. And it was so annoying. And this was for months. And then the thing, too, with, like, flight crews, like, for the most part, they were pretty neutral. We had one thing, though, that did kind of suck. It was specifically pilots. Like, you very rarely got snotty flight attendants. It was usually pilots who were just, like, you know, really crabby, or, you know, they would treat you like shit. And the thing is, you know, even though, like, part of our, you know, agreement with the airlines, or at least I'm fairly certain it was part of our agreement, was to make sure they have transportation, you know, if they would still tip the shuttle driver, like, it would be $1, but, like, they would still tip you. And I remember this one flight attendant who will live forever in my heart, was talking about how, like, you know, she had worked with so many male pilots, like, it was always male pilots, old, like, white male pilots specifically who fell into this category. But she was, like, talking about how she would always get on them for not treating, like, the shuttle drivers well and, like, not tipping. And I was like, you're my favorite. I can't say that, but you're my favorite. Please always fly here. Except don't, because this airport sucks. And, like, the thing is, you know, it's a short drive, and it, you know, it's, like, part of the whole agreement with the airline. So, like, in that way, you could, you know, say, oh, it's not, like, tipping's not necessary. And it's true. It's not part of my, you know, job or whatever. But it was a courtesy thing, and it was really nice. I remember there was another time this was, like, an actual guest, was coming from, like, an event nearby. Oh, I didn't notice this here. Where does this go? Huh? Oh, it's on the bumper. But they were stuck, like, the last, like, local bus was gone. And, so they didn't have a way to get there, and so they called, and I guess they, like, weren't 100% confident someone would be able to come get them, because it was late. It was, like, after midnight. But this was in the brief but wonderful period when there were multiple night auditors working. because we would have a lot of events and stuff. And so it just, you know, made more sense. So, you know, I was able to go get them in the shuttle while the other night auditor manned the desk, and she was like super grateful, and she was like, do you have like Venmo or something, like, you know, can I tip you? And I was like, I mean, I have Cash App. And she tipped me, I'm not kidding, like $50, and that drive was less than 2 miles. I was like just floored. So yeah, of that job, like there was a lot that I hated about working in hotels, but there were some good moments. And, you know, there were some guests that were really nice. There were guests that, you know, were, like, perfectly lovely to work with. At least in my first hotel job, I really liked all my coworkers. That did not stay true, unfortunately. But, you know, it wasn't all bad. It was just one of those situations where, like, I felt like my life was being wasted slowly but surely. Because the thing is, they don't pay you well to work at the front desk. I got paid slightly more working nights, and still, like, the pay was atrocious. And I didn't have a life outside of my job. Because working nights, it's really hard to have a life in general. So I was like, I don't want to move up to management because I have zero desire to be available 24/7 for a hotel. And I'm not interested in the hospitality industry, like, professionally. I'm not getting paid much. It's, you know, I'm not in a position where I'll get moved to, you know, being paid a decent amount. And frankly, I just don't have a life. So this sucks. But for where I was when I first got the job, like the first hotels I worked at, it worked. But, you know, it just got to a point where I was like, I've been doing this for a couple of years. I don't have it in me to keep doing it indefinitely. Which is definitely how I feel about my job now, in all honesty. But, I mean, even my therapist is like, you know, this job really sucks, and it's really taking a lot out of you. But, you know, the insurance and benefits are all really good, so I really can't even, like, I can't even, like, advise you with 100% certainty to quit because the market sucks right now. So, it is what it is. All right, job is complete. Cool beans. Got new jobs available and new items in the shop. Here we go. It's interesting watching these time lapses when a good chunk of the job you can't see. Okay. Wishy. Jess is enthralled by her sparkling removals van. She says she'll give you first dibs on any furniture that she comes across, so keep an eye out for any new items appearing in the shop. It's all pre-restoration stuff, so pretty dirty, but I'm sure you're okay with that. Told you it would all come together. And we got like $200 for our trouble. Let's go to home base. I don't remember if the first one had a home base and I just forgot. But, yeah, it's just interesting to see here. There's all these boxes. Purchase furniture in the catalog via the shop. Ooh. Wait, here we go. Furniture catalog. Oh, there's so many things here. Oh, this is so nice for my brain. My brain loves this. Oh, we can get a whimsical sofa and a retro rug for, like, nothing. I'll take that. Where do they go? Do they go down here? No. Where do they go? I haven't explored. There's a shop here. This is so fun. Can't get back there. I'm just gonna be wandering around for a bit because other than the demo, I haven't really touched this game. And my friend told me it was like really good and she loved it, so I'm having a grand old time. Nothing in here. Oh, tab. I was able to mute myself that time. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So where do we want this to go? This is like all office area. There's like more space down here. Do we want stuff in this area? This is clearly not Powerwash area. Even though there's like these. Well, these are windows. Let's put them down here. You know? Let's do it. Can hear the cats purring. It's very cute. Ooh, it starts out in the wash area. Oh, this is fun. Little cats. Ew, is this sofa like not fabric? No, it should be. I think it's just wet. Oh yeah, it's just wet. Neat. And get all the ugliest furniture. Oh man. I have like a granny square like crochet blanket I started years ago, and I specifically got really ugly colors of yarn. And it's planned to be massive, but it's in the works for a long ass time because I just can't, like, you know, it's up in a closet. I have to be in a very specific like mood to sit down and crochet, and I just haven't been in a long time. What I've really wanted to do more recently is leatherworking. Specifically, I would like to make another bookmark, which, you know, it's like, oh, bookmark's not much that goes into it, and like on the surface, no. But I want to try the stamps again that I have, because I didn't do a fantastic job with them the first go around. Like I have, I'm just gonna. Just gonna keep my thumb here. So, like, I did this one. I did like the stitching around the edges, and I did like the grommet with the extra like strands of leather, and then you can't even see where I stamped my initials in the bottom. But, you know, it's really nice. I like it a lot. It is like on the thicker side, but I kind of like it, and I want to do another one because I do have like multiple books I'm reading through at a time. It's not something that you can see super easily. I'm actually gonna real quick. We'll just swap over here because most of it's out of frame, but I have a lot of books. This would make more sense. I got a lot of books. This is like a small part of what I have, and there's books stacked here that I've been reading or that are on the docket for me to read. So like The Kingless Land by Ed Greenwood. I'm reading through the Wheel of Time series, which is my absolute favorite series in existence. If you like high fantasy, highly recommend the Wheel of Time. I adore it. There's 15 total in the series. I'm missing the 4th box set. And this geode bookend is like occupying the spot that it will one day take when I finally get around to ordering it. My roommate loaned me Dune, which I've been meaning to start. I haven't gotten around to it. I haven't like really read a lot of sci-fi. And there's gonna be these folks that are like, well, you know, sci-fi and fantasy were at one point like the same genre. And it's like, not quite though. Like I haven't read proper sci-fi, really, and I want to like give it a try because I do like fantasy. So we'll give it a shot. My roommate said it was kind of like a difficult read. And I also want to start again with the Silmarillion because I got part of the way through. But I was just kind of struggling because I wasn't as familiar with Lord of the Rings at the time. So I want to give that a shot again. I have Wizard's First Rule, Terry Goodkind. I also have 2 trilogies from Terry Brooks up there that I do want to read at one point. And then I have Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. I saw it at Barnes & Noble and it immediately went with me. But I don't know. That's the little breakaway from what we've been doing. It's just me yapping about the pile of books behind me that I need to read. There's more on the shelf that I need to read, but those have been kind of at the forefront of what I am reading or what I want to read. So there's just a lot of things that I want to do, and I just haven't had the energy to do them or the time. And so I'm hoping to remedy that. My watch was bitching at me just now. It's like, hey, you should go to bed by this time. Like, mind your business about when I go to bed. You died the other day and didn't track all my sleep, so. Nice. Ugly couch acquired. Let's do this. Like here. Cool. Ooh, there was a rug too. Aw, man. You know those rug washing videos? Like, man, can't even begin to express to you. Am I not able to use soap when I'm in here? That's dumb. It's not as satisfying as like the scrubbers and stuff, but it's still pretty satisfying. If someone specifically, if they specifically went out of their way to like make a rug washing add-on and like really went into like the scrubbing the fibers and like the soap and all that fun stuff, boom, like just as much success, I guarantee it, because it's it's all similar stuff. Okay, now we got a rug. It's gonna go out here. Nice. Ugly is sin, and I'm here for it. Okay. Should probably get to our actual jobs. Nice squeak. And Bubbles. And Ulysses. Okay. Little squishmallows. They should sell this. They should sell that. I also have to say I love the Stegosaurus. It's my favorite dinosaur. I have a tattoo. So anytime I see it, it makes my little brain happy. Oh, man. The books and everything. Like, there's clearly a lot of, like, detail and a lot of love that went into this game. Design of the abstract. The Fontaine Scuffle. I'm like trying to read these book titles. Caldera County Cryptids. Mount Rushless Mining Rush. Making washing fun. A History of Santa Hats. History of fountain vandalism in Muckingham. Okay. Volumes 1 and 2. Gosh, so much cool stuff. So many little Easter egg things. It's so fun. Okay. Let's go to the public facility. Welcome to the town of Detergento. Detergento? I don't know how you're meant to say it. It's detergent. Where the past meets the future to manifest a present that we can all live with. A thing happened to us the other day when I asked my colleague to do a deep dive inventory on our public facilities. We found schematics for a revolutionary convenience installed in 2003, but then almost immediately forgotten about and assumed to be a bench. This whole thing is just pure Detergento. Alright. This was the second level in the demo. So I don't really have a problem saying that this is a lot more than what it appears to be. I think these, I don't know about it sinking into the ground, but this type of like, it's essentially like a little public restroom, but it, you know, I've seen similar like buildings exist. I don't think they sink into the ground in the same way. It would be cool though. But then also it's kind of like, well, you know, how useful would it be really? I could see it being better more for like pop-up events maybe, in like a square where it's like, oh, you need like pop-up stalls, have them rise from the ground. But even then, I don't even know what would go into like maintaining that, so. Cat. Hi, buddy. Hi, Bubbles. You're so cute. Where's your family? This is Ulysses, I believe. Yes. Alright, where's Squeak? Where's Squeak? Okay, this is now a mission. I have to find Squeak. There's our van. Can't be too far away, right? I hear purring. There you are. You're hiding in the flowers. How cute. It's always funny to me because I know it's like the nature of the game, but to see something this scummy and disgusting surrounded by like pristine, like, you know, public areas is so funny. Alright. I feel like you could probably use a larger nozzle. This is not very powerful. Better? Better. I favor the yellow nozzle. I think everyone kind of has one that they're like, this is my preferred one. I like this one when I play this game. And for me, it's definitely the yellow nozzle. Like, obviously I can switch to the others if there is need. But, I don't know. It's like the right amount of... It's like the right balance of, like, nozzle size and power for me to not get annoyed. Like, even this, it just feels slightly too weak. It covers a lot more ground, but I have to make more passes, it feels like, so that's annoying. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Let's go around. Man, the one nice thing about going into the new year is having all of my PTO back for work. I did the math, and with the PTO that was rolled over from last year, the PTO I purchased, because we can purchase up to 40 hours, and then just the regular time off we were allotted, I have like 30-something days of paid time off, which is just absurd. Now, granted, it has to be approved ahead of time. Or, you know, if it isn't and I call off, I only have a certain number of days I can call off before it's like a disciplinary issue. But still, like, that's a fair amount of time. Oh, here we go. Alright. Phase 2. Can I get soap? Washer cosmetics, washer equipment. Flat surfaces at short range. Okay. Turbo nozzle, long extension, extra long extension, adaptable nozzle. Okay. Oh, okay. Don't particularly care about that. Am I able to buy soap? Surely that's a thing, right? And that's for changing cosmetics. I don't particularly care about that. I never got much into the equipment with the old game. Okay, those are the two we own. How do I buy soap? Apparently mechanic changed. Okay. Supposedly there's an attachment. Do we not already have that, though? Maybe we have money. Let's do the adaptable nozzle. The circle nozzle. No, for this one. Okay. There it is. Let's use soap. I have no soap. Can I purchase soap? Do I have to wait for this to fill? This little meter over here? I'm so confused. How does this work? Still filling? Still filling? I'm so confused. How does this work? Oh yeah, I gotta wait for it to fill. Okay, that's dumb. Well, let's get as much of this covered as we can. Because it does make life easy. I remember in the old game you had to buy soap. I guess that's maybe not the case this go around. I'm not complaining. Just coat as much of this as we can. Okay, we're almost out. Okay. Gotta like let it fill back up. Does the soap disappear after a while? Hold to... Oh... Oh yeah, you really want to like coat it 100% with the soap. Okay. Does this work well? Yeah, it works decently well. Hello? I say right as it gets stuck. Okay. Just make my life as easy as possible. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I think I should have been more thorough in covering with the soap. But, oh well. That's okay. Okay. We'll let that fill back up. I know I'm like missing lore with all these messages. Which kind of sucks, but I'm just so focused on doing what I'm doing. Oh man. I haven't been using my standing desk like as a standing desk recently much because again I've been so exhausted and I've just felt terrible. So I'm like my feet are kind of like not used to it, so it's like ugh. but I don't want to give in to the urge to sit down. Hey, get up there. I'm gonna coat evenly. Coating the building with soap, something about it just makes my brain happy. Really, a lot of this just makes my brain happy. It like scratches a very particular itch, which is why like these games are very popular, because I think it's a very human experience enjoying this sort of thing. I also have Lawnmower Simulator, I believe, which I have not played. I think I did like a couple levels on my Steam Deck forever ago, and then I never finished it, so that's one I would like to pick back up at some point. Just, you know, a lot of these simulator type games, they just scratch this particular itch. Alright. I don't know why this is more satisfying than just spraying the dirt straight off, but it kind of is. Kind of nice that I don't have to remember to go buy the soap. I wonder, does it still use money? I haven't seen any indication that it does. I'm gonna kind of start covering up the spots I missed. Where I got lazy last time. How is it, like, melting off? Oh, does it not stick to... It doesn't stick to areas that have already been cleaned. Interesting. So it like only sticks to the dirt. Wild. Oh man. I'm having so much fun. I know I'm like not talking a lot. My brain is just so like focused on soap. Spray soap. So dumb. One other book I picked up. I picked up The Call of Cthulhu for some reason. My brain was just like, you know what? Let's give Lovecraft a shot. And I was reminded of, you know, I mean, the obvious, of course, Lovecraft being horrifically racist. Apparently my roommate was not aware of this, so I got to share that particular factoid. But I've always been interested in that sort of like Lovecraftian eldritch horror type situation. I've just like never looked super deep into it because I tend to read, you know, I tend to stick with like similar genres and such. So yeah, I figure I'll take a foray into, you know, that sort of thing, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, let's just cover this side. Door. Get this side. Get this up here. Get this here. Okay, I think that's pretty much all of it. Nice. Something about this is so satisfying. 'Cause, 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 ' I don't know why this remind me of this specifically. When I was younger, my grandmother, as many of us do in the United States, had well, not my grandmother. She had a fridge and she had to have it replaced. So she gave us her old fridge because she got a new fridge and she didn't have anywhere to keep the old one as like a spare fridge, which is apparently not that uncommon in the States. And so my parents were like, yeah, we'll take another fridge. But my grandmother is a smoker and has been for forever. So it was super nasty. And I spent like an entire afternoon deep cleaning that refrigerator to get like the smoke out of it. Like the smoke smell and like just the built up nicotine buildup and all this crazy stuff. If you've ever been somewhere, like if you've ever been in someone's house and like, you know, like you take a shower or something and you look and there's like yellow like streaks of liquid coming down the wall, that's nicotine. That means someone who lived there, who is living there, or someone who has lived there prior is a smoker. I've had that in like basically every apartment I've ever lived in, barring the campus apartments. Yeah, and I remember my roommate was like super grossed out by it, like her old place, and I was like, no, that's just someone lived here and smoked. Which, her old building was built like eons ago, so it was not at all surprising that was the case. It did have central air though, which, you know, for a building that was like over 100 years old, pretty impressive. Way better than our current apartment, which does not have central air, despite not being that old. I mean, it's still, you know, they're not new by any means, but, you know. Okay. What are we missing out here? Outer floor, door light, poster, and poster frame. Okay. It says the poster's still dirty. Oh, poster cover. Okay, where are you taking me? I'm gonna like pick up all the spots I missed. Oh, the light. Okay. And then do. Oh, is it just like around the edge? There we go. And phase 3. Ew. Okay. Alright, we'll let the soap gauge fill up for this one. Oh, man. My knees hurt. I need to get back into regular stretching. I was doing so well with that like this time last year, and then I fell off the wagon and life started to suck when everything at work went to shit. Hi, buddy. Oh. We have a baby. Hello. Okay, let me put you down. He's whacked the cord. He will let you pick him up. He does not like being held for extended periods. Which is fair. My other cat will absolutely let me cradle him forever. Just got a bedtime reminder. My phone has my bedtime set for like 10 p.m., which is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Optimistic. But the fact of the matter is, my shift starts at like 11:30, so there's no way I'm going to bed at 10. On weekdays, anyway. Weekends would be a good time for that, but I'm also not going to bed at 10 on a weekend either. Whether I'm working or not. Yeah, if anywhere in this game needed soap, it's here. Frankly, this thing should be spraying straight bleach. Oh, man. Oh, did you hear that, like, squeak? It sounded like a rubber boot. Was that meant to be, like, a rubber boot sound effect, like, on the floor? That's so neat. That's the thing, like, these games are so, like, simple in concept, but they're done with so much love. It's like, ugh, just A+. Because, like, anyone can do a stupid simulator game, but to put this much, like, love and effort into all the little details and, you know, like, the actual, like, world of the game, as weird as that sounds, like, chef's kiss to the developers. It's a fantastic time. There's a reason it's as big as it is. It's got the right amount of, like, brain-itching gameplay and whimsy. Oh, man. It's that element, really. It's, like, the whimsy and, like, the world that I think a lot of copycat games, not copycat necessarily just for Powerwash Simulator, but copycat games in general for, like, other titles kind of miss. Like, I think about stuff like life sim titles, you know, that are meant to be, like, copycats of The Sims, you know, and where they often fall flat is, like, that world-building silliness, lore, you know, all that fun stuff. Because The Sims does have a lot of stuff. It's not as prevalent in the newer games, but especially, like, back in, like, Sims 2 era, there was, like, so much weird shit happening. And then if you played, like, the spin-offs that had more, like, story involved, you got a lot more of it. Like, I played The Sims 2 on DS, of all things. And, like, it was a full story-driven game, and you got some of the, like, the Strangeville lore, and, you know, all the characters, and it had, like, its own storyline. It was super neat. And a lot of these, like, life sim copycat titles just miss that completely. And, you know, they just don't have the same vibe. Like, it's so important to have that element to a game. You know, something that makes that experience, you know, well-rounded and unique. Like, people talk about world building, and, like, you know, it really is that important. Like, if your game doesn't have good world building, if your book, whatever, you know, media you're creating or whatever you're doing, if it's lacking that world building, unless it's, like, a very specific instance, it's just not gonna vibe quite the same. And, you know, some people be like, well, you know, there's stuff where it's not really necessary. And it's like, true, you know, you can have a good experience without it, but I mean, this is just a game about power washing stuff, and you think about the little world that is built around it. Like, you know, it doesn't have, like, characters you interact with in any meaningful way. You just get text messages, but you get little lore with it, you know? And there's, like, a world built up and things that happen, and, you know, it's neat. It's neat, is all I'm saying. You know, even if, like, the basic premise of a game doesn't seem to, like, necessitate it, I think that little extra bit of love goes a long way. I think it's what a lot of folks miss. And especially the copycats. Like, any sort of copycat of a major title, it seems like, a lot of times, like, aside from the fact that they're just, like, trying to, you know, push on the success of, like, an existing, what is the word I'm thinking of? What is the word I'm thinking of? Gosh, I don't remember. But, you know, it's like they're trying to build on an existing thing, but, you know, they just don't have as much success because they're missing, like, the heart of it. And, you know, there's not enough about it that's unique, and what is there is very, like, perfunctory, if that makes sense. Like, you know, there's a lot of, like, farming sim titles that are just kind of, like, You know, they try to piggyback off the success of titles like Stardew, like Harvest Moon, and they just don't do as good of a job because they don't have like that unique thing that makes them exciting and stand on their own 2 feet. You know, because that's important. Like, Stardew has its own unique vibe and things about it that make it stand out from the games that inspired it and make it into its own thing. And that's why it's been so successful. You know? You can't just make a farming sim, you know, just make a game where you farm and expect it to have the same, you know, the same reach and the same staying power, be as beloved just, you know, by virtue of it being a farming game. Like, that's just really not how it works. Like, Stardew took elements from these games that already existed, these franchises that were so beloved that ConcernedApe himself loved. It took elements from them, but then it also made its own thing. Like, there's so much about Stardew that's so different from, you know, these other titles that I played prior. And especially, too, one thing that's great about Stardew and what really helps it as well is the modding community. And his, like, you know, he's completely embraced the modding community, and that's made it even better, you know? I mean, when the last big update came out, he was, like, allowing, like, the big mod makers to kind of, like, you know, get a jump start on it so they could start updating their stuff. So when the new update came out, like, they could be, like, their stuff could be ready right away. And that was a big deal, especially because if you've played a ton of, you know, so many hours of game, but then you start playing with mods that, you know, really change the game for you, and, like, you know, it's becomes like a non-negotiable, basically. You're kind of left out from the new content because, you know, you're like, well, my mods don't work. And, you know, while I liked the vanilla experience, I really can't go without, you know, these mods that I've been playing with. And while I can still enjoy vanilla Stardew here and there, I'm just so, like, attached to some of the mods I've been playing with that, like, you know, it 100% is like that. It's like, I could play without them, but, like, you know, there's just so much about it. And not just quality of life, like, you know, added characters, added cutscenes, expansions on the world, different mechanics, things that it just, you know, that I just enjoy. And it's not to say that the base game is not a wonderful experience in and of itself. It's just, you know, this curated experience, basically, that I've made playing with these mods is also very near and dear to my heart. So it's super cool that ConcernedApe really, like, just goes all in, like, supporting them. And I know there's another big update coming out, and I imagine we'll see more of the same, that kind of support. And I'm looking forward to it. Stardew's been on the mind recently, if you can't tell. Yeah. I've put a lot of time into this new file, and I'm having a good time with it. One of the mods that has come out fairly recently that I'm enjoying a lot, I think I mentioned this on a previous stream. It's called Apex Mastery, and what it does, it takes the skill progression from the base game and turns it into, like, a full-on RPG skill tree, with, like, different branches where, you know, you unlock the points and you can spend them however you choose, and it's super cool. I love that a lot. You know, partly because I'm just, you know, I just love RPGs, but, you know, it's also just a really cool spin on this existing mechanic in the game, because, you know, you've always been able to level up and get new perks, but it's always been very linear, and this kind of changes that. So if there are perks, you know, if you, like, you know, because you're building skill in everything as you go, but you're like, man, I just really want these fishing perks. You can focus on that. You don't have to exclusively work on your fishing skill to unlock these things. Super neat. I'm trying to get further into, because there's an expansion that I've only played a couple of times, and it's Adventurers Guild Expanded. And I'm trying to get further into the storyline for that one, because I do like the premise of it, and I like the characters. I just never, like, really got totally through its storyline. So we're working on that now. The big thing, my big focus at the moment is fixing up Grandpa's shed on, because this is Stardew Valley Expanded, and it's one of their custom maps, the Frontier Farm. So you get Grandpa's, you know, broken down shed, and it has like a greenhouse space on the second floor. Way easier to unlock than the actual greenhouse, especially because, like a psychopath, I love to add mods to make the game harder. So challenging bundles, like I am almost through the end of my first summer and I've not completed a single bundle. Because it's just, I made the game too hard for myself. So, but that's also part of where I find the fun too, because when you do the same thing, because, you know, when you do the community center and it's the same bundles over and over, like there's the remixed bundles now in the base game, but when I first started modding the game, that wasn't really a thing. You know, you're kind of like, you really like want a different experience, and this really kind of brought that. Now, of course, there's the difficulty in waiting on some items to spawn. Like, I haven't finished any of the foraging bundles because they require these seashells that never spawn frequently enough for me. It's like I need like 10 sand dollars, and I've only found like maybe 5 in 2 seasons. And it's like the sand dollars I think are... No, the sand dollars are only available in like summer and fall, I think. But I'm supposed to have 5 little conch shells for the spring foraging bundle. They're available year-round at the beach. It's been almost 2 seasons. I have not found 5 of them. It's the worst. So it's making the community center take way longer, which is, you know, the reason I downloaded the mod, because it really changes that experience. It really makes it harder. But it also means certain areas of the game don't progress as fast, which, you know, is not the end of the world. Okay. I don't want to bring the stool in here if I don't have to. Ah. That works. Another one that I like a lot is Plentiful Harvest, I believe is what does it. It adds like this seasonal quest line where, and it's remixed every month. You may not get the same ones twice in a row, but it's essentially like shipping categories where if you ship enough items to earn enough points in those categories, you get points for this like monthly competition. And in doing so, you can unlock some pretty sweet rewards. And it's another layer of like something to work towards. Like even when the bundles are done, you still have this going. Nasty. And so that's been fun. It has like different themes basically. So it's like sometimes it's like, oh, stuff for mining, stuff for cooking, like, you know, and it's like wide varieties of items that will earn you points in those categories. And then there's always one for just, you know, value of items you've shipped. But it's super cool, and it adds new recipes and stuff and crops. It's super neat. It's one of those mods that I love a lot. I could talk forever about different Stardew mods that I like, in all honesty, but yeah, it really does change the game experience for me, and I really appreciate that. Whoop, not what I wanted to do. Get back down here. Okay. Huh? Toilet. Oh, there's a toilet seat. I forgot about that. Nasty. We won't get the soap out because there's so little of it. Okay. Oh, a hand dryer. Where do you still have gunk? Huh? Oh, it's the body? Where? I'm confused. Oh, down there. Sink. Oh, there's the wall. Nice. Okay. Job complete. We'll watch our little time lapse. My terrible job with the soap the first go around. Oh, and they do change the camera view for the interior. That's good. I didn't... was pretty sure they did, but I couldn't remember from the demo. You'll be delighted to learn that the public facility's kinetic sensors have been updated, and it's been successfully reintegrated into our public convenience network just in time for our upcoming Equinox Festival. I can state with confidence that you'll be hearing from us again. Nice. Let's go back to our home base. Nice. Nice squeak. So cute. Babies. I can't not pet the cats. I feel like choosing not to pet the cats says a lot about a person, and I don't like what it says about a person. Okay. Let's... I don't know about washer cosmetics because there are different washers, but let's check the outfit cosmetics. I think the mask is fine. Ooh, I like the yellow overalls, though. Yes. The boots are a different shade of yellow, which I don't like. Yeah, we'll leave them on the default. Should be fine. Ooh, here we go. Furniture items. I don't think I can afford any of this, but that's okay. Yeah, unfortunately I can't. Yeah, not too much customization. Ooh, van. I don't have that money. Very sad. Here we go. Changed outfit styling. Okay. Nice. We don't have the money for any furniture, but that's okay. I think... Composite. Great River Campground, Power Falls. Let me know when you found the place. We've already headed for home. Camping is definitely not for us, and a pair of boggy sprogs and one grubby hubby were in no mood to hang about. Know what I mean? Don't really know what else to say about it all. Suppose the muck tells its own story, doesn't it? Alright. I feel like I've seen this level. It wasn't in the demo, but I've seen this level. I heard something flapping. Oh, I didn't change the van cosmetic. That's okay. Get. Hi. Ulysses squeaked. Where's Bubbles? Yeah? I had to find the cat. There you are. So cute. Alright, back to the task at hand. There we go. Nice. Oh boy. Yeah, this works. Boy, my nose is itchy. Do. This isn't gonna be a super long stream, mostly because I have to work tomorrow and I haven't eaten dinner yet. Like, I had lunch, and that was it. I've been too tired I wasn't joking when I said I went to bed straight after work. I was like I got off the clock, didn't even leave my bedroom, just crawled right into bed and stayed there until 7:30. The beauty of working from home is that I can just do that, but still. Oh man. My legs and my ankles are super stiff because I don't go anywhere or do anything, and I really need to be doing regular stretching. I've just not been up to it. I need to dig out my yoga mat. It's in my closet. I've rearranged my bedroom since I've gotten the new desk and everything else, so, it's not been, I haven't had as much space immediately regularly available, so I gotta get back into a new routine with that. I was using an app where you can choose different stretches and kind of they have pre-made stretching routines, but then you can make your own with different types of stretches, and it'll categorize them based on what part of the body is being stretched and stuff. I think it's just called Bend. I have it on my phone. I'm gonna look it up. Bend, yes, that's what it's called. And I liked that a lot because it was really easy to just focus on if I felt like my hips were really tense, I could choose one of the existing ones, or I could do I could create routines with my favorite stretches, stuff like that. And I could broadcast it to my TV, which is right in front of the open space in my bedroom. And just have that. I would stretch and then have a podcast going. So I do 15, 20 minutes of stretching or something. It was a good time. I just haven't built it back into my routine. Really, I just need to, get back into taking care of myself, which last year really went to shit. So a lot of really good habits that I built out just fell to the wayside because, everything sucked for months. So I really just kind of need to pick myself back up now that we're back to working from home and things have calmed down. Shit's, work's being stupid, management's being stupid, but, ultimately, I still gotta take care of myself somewhere in the interim. There we go. And I know I would feel better, is the other thing. I know I feel better when I take better care of myself. That's just how it goes. But it's the getting started when you felt like shit for so long that's really difficult, and that's what they often forget to talk about is, even though conceptually you understand that, regular exercise and getting, good sleep and sleeping at the same time every day, all these things, in theory that they are good for you. It's hard to get yourself out of that slump and to build those habits. And so I'm just kind of starting at square one with that. And there's a lot of bases to cover because there's the physical taking care of myself, but then it's what I was talking about earlier with being more creative and letting myself, do things that I enjoy and finding time for these things, making memories, keeping track of those memories, all this stuff. There's so many elements that are important. So there's just a laundry list of things. But the hope is to make things generally better. I don't like the idea of New Year's resolutions just because it puts a lot of pressure at the start of the year. And then, it's it's like that phenomena. You have a New Year's resolution, you miss it once or twice, and then it just falls to the wayside. And then the treadmill you bought on sale at the beginning of January just sits in your garage gathering dust. I think it's very corny. But, some people talk about how, every day is a new day or every week is a new week. So there's, never, there's always a good time to start something new, et cetera, et cetera. And, as corny as it is, there is truth to that. Roof. Where is my stool? There it is. Boom. Boom. I love that the jumping kind of feels like you're on a space station. You're on the moon. Nice. Okay. Yeah. And part of it, too, is just, you know, getting back into a good routine, which I fell off this week because I was just so exhausted. Because streaming is part of that routine for me. You know? Like, I'm not here because I'm like, ooh, I want to be, like, a really big content creator and, like, all this stuff. Because, like, no. I'm like, 28 years old. I know that's, like, you know, whatever. It's more just about, like, having a set time during the week where I do things that I enjoy and I have fun. That's what it's about for me. And so getting back to doing these things that I enjoy is very important to me. So, you know, as much as I wanted to just roll over and go back to sleep today, I was like, no, I want to stream. Even if I don't stream, you know, the game, even if I don't stream what I had planned, even if it's just something simple, you know, I want to do that. I want to get back into that routine because it's important to me. And so here we are. It just leads to me yapping to myself playing Powerwash Simulator. But that's fine. That's exactly what you know, that's the point. I mean, ultimately, I don't care if no one ever watches these streams. I really, you know, like that's, you know, that's not what's important to me. What's important is that I have this, it sounds so dumb. I have like scheduled time during the week where I can sit down and play games. And even if there's no one here, I can like have these open dialogues with at least myself and have a chance to kind of just talk things through or just, you know, have this great experience and have it like, you know, it's so much different playing a game on stream, even if there's no one watching, versus just, like, playing a game by yourself. Like, you know, the experience I had with Legends ZA, like, is so much different than if I just played the game on my own. Even though, like, there was no one there watching those streams. I didn't care. Like, it was still so different from just playing the game on your own that I had that I just had a great time anyway. And so that's what I find fun about it. It's just a good time. I have a good time. And if, you know, I end up outside of my comfort zone, I play things that either I've wanted to play and never got around to playing, or things that I, you know, didn't think about playing much really. Like Octopath, I knew it existed, never played it, you know, didn't really have like the urge to like look more into it. But then when I started playing Harvestella on stream, which was a game I had started and never finished, and then, you know, I was like, you know, maybe I want to start Final Fantasy, you know, I'm really enjoying this JRPG thing. You know, then I was like feeling that itch. I was like, I want to find more games like this and continue to have these experiences. And Octopath really came in clutch. And I'm sad that I missed my last stream for it. But, you know, I know that it's an experience that I'm going to greatly enjoy. And something about streaming it is just different in a way that I really like. All right. Cool. Got this little kettle. Whoop. Whoop. There we go. I don't know. I've enjoyed streaming a lot. And I know that, like, you know, when someone says, oh, I want to start streaming, like, there's this idea of, like, like, people have an idea of why you want to start streaming. They're like, oh, yeah, you want to be, like, some big, you know, streamer. You want to, like, have that be your job, whatever. It's like, not necessarily. Like, first of all, that is a lot of work. Secondly, you know, being that known to the internet is objectively terrifying. Being known in any way, shape, or form is horrifying for me. I don't like people knowing I exist. I'm not opposed to it necessarily. Like, I'm not opposed to, like, you know, having followers and things like that. Just, you know, the idea of being, like, you know, that level of, like, you know, recognizable. Using the word famous feels weird, but, like, you know, like, that sort of thing is terrifying. I mean, swatting is a thing, and just people are weird. But no, like, I'm strictly doing it because I have a good time with it. And, you know, that's really like the long and short of it. If you have a good time, then great. If you're not, or if, you know, your whole purpose is like, I want to be a big streamer, I want that to be my job, and I just want to play games forever, you're going to be sorely disappointed. For, like, so many reasons. It's something that you should do because you think it's fun. And, you know, that should be your goal. And I do. I have fun. I don't, you know, care about the other stuff. I just like playing games, and it's... Playing games on stream is a different experience, and it's one that I greatly enjoy. So, that's why we're here. So I'm here power washing a virtual fire pit. At... like 9:45 on a Saturday. There we go. We're supposed to have, like, management reaching out and meeting with us individually to discuss our schedules, and my meeting is going to be incredibly short. I'm back to work, by the way. I'm talking about work. Just because thinking about it being late on a Saturday brought me back to it. But I know that meeting's going to be terribly short because I'm already on closing shift, and that's where they need people. It's like, at this point, you might as well just be like, oh, we're going to meet with people on the morning shift to discuss if they're going to stay on morning shift or not. But if they're that honest, people are going to get mad right away, so they won't be that honest. My one gripe is that I'm supposed to have regular days off, which is part of the reason why I didn't stream Octopath this week. Because I'm supposed to be off alternating Tuesdays and Thursdays, and for whatever reason, they've been fucking with my Thursdays. So instead of being off on Thursday, I was off on Friday. And I was exhausted. Because that's not how my schedule normally goes. And I was salty about it. So I am going to bring that up and be like, hey, you know, we did discuss this, and I would like to keep that. It's like, you can keep me on closing shift, but I would like to work these specific days. Because that was what was previously discussed. And I definitely have it in writing because I sent them an email about it, and they responded in an email. So, I don't know. I'm still a little grouchy about it, I guess. It is what it is. I'll have my stupid meeting, and they'll be like, oh, we don't really want to make changes to your schedule. And I'm going to be like, yeah, I know. You should have just been honest with morning shift from the start. Because they knew. I knew. We all knew. But, I don't know. Management's really been going hard in this whole, let's pretend we aren't hemorrhaging people. When we absolutely are. Like, you know, you might, if you're just honest about it, it's going to be a lot less annoying for everyone involved. Like, just be honest. We're losing people at an alarming rate right now. That will earn a lot more respect from my department if you're just honest about it. But they won't be, because then it sounds bad, and they don't want things to sound like they're bad after everything that went down last year, so... Whatever. We'll just continue to look at each other and roll our eyes in these stupid meetings where they try to pretend that everything's cool. And I'll continue to give them the stank face when they come up with new stupid shit to add to our workload instead of, you know, just letting us do our fucking jobs as described. I 100% gave my manager the stink face in, like, it wasn't a full department meeting because our job doesn't really lend itself to those, but there were quite a few people from my department and like related departments there. She did not look at me. Like, she avoided looking at me for the rest of that meeting. Because they were like, oh, we're going to introduce this new thing that we're going to have you guys do. And we were like, my roommate and I were sitting next to each other because we happened to be in the same one. And we looked at each other in complete disgust. Because it's just like, this is not, like, this isn't, like, there's other departments that already do this. There's no reason for us to be doing it. It's, like, functionally really stupid for us to be doing it. Just due to the nature of our actual position. And also, I don't want to. Like, ultimately, it's just not my job, and I don't want to. It's not the job that I applied for and signed up for and was trained to do. But they don't care about that. The annoying thing with a job like mine is when you have people who are like, oh, you know, I used to do your job, and it's like, okay, how many years ago was that? It's like, if you haven't been in my particular position at this company since before COVID, I do not care about your thoughts on how I should be doing my job. But, you know, they think, oh, well, I had 10 years of experience like 20 years ago. It's like, okay, yeah, do you have any idea how much the scope of this industry has changed in that amount of time? Like, seriously, so much shit has changed. Years of experience in any industry does not carry over through decades like that. Things are always constantly changing. And it's just it's annoying. And I remember when things were really bad, like when everything was going down this past year, you know, they would say stuff like that, and it's like, okay, but the kinds of things that we're dealing with right now, our company has never dealt with. So you've, like, while you were in my position at one point, you were never been through this particular scenario or anything even remotely close. So, like, shut up. Like, I wanted to be like, please shut up. I don't care that you worked my job 10 years ago, because 10 years ago, this was not happening. But unfortunately, I need my job, so I can't say that as much as I would like to. But it is what it is. I must live. I must suffer. Oh, man. Those gloves remind me, I have some, like, rubber, gloves for, like, electrical work that I picked up at one point. I don't remember exactly why I picked those up, but they did come in handy because we had to fix our oven. The bottom heating element was not working, and they haven't responded to any of our maintenance requests for, like, the last year. And we can put up with a lot, but not having an oven. So our oven works now, which means I can eat frozen pizza again. My roommate got a new air fryer for Christmas, actually, in a similar vein, and I've been getting way more use out of that. My roommate had one before, but it was like a toaster oven, and it would, like, die halfway through. So you'd be, like, cooking chicken nuggets or something, and then, you'd be like, it'd be in there for like 10 minutes, and it'd be like 8 minutes, and you'd look over, and it was just stopped. Like, it had just died halfway through. So, you know, like, it works, but not well. And so I think it was my roommate's mom got her a new air fryer, which means we have a new air fryer. The beauty of living with another person is, for things like kitchenware, assuming you don't hate each other, it becomes a what's yours is mine scenario. Like, I get to use her air fryer, she gets to use my KitchenAid. My old apartment, like way back when I started grad school, there was a faulty outlet that melted my slow cooker. I have not gotten a new slow cooker, and right now I don't need to, because she has a slow cooker. You know, just stuff like that. But we're also best friends, so that's helps. If you're not close to your roommates, that is not how it works. And, you know, a lot of people are like, don't move in with your friends. You have to be very specific with who you move in with. You can move in with friends as long as you and the friend or friends in question have similar tolerance levels with mess or, like, you know, routines or, you know, whatever the case may be. Or, you know, as long as you, like, understand each other really well. If not, then it's a bad time. I've been in both positions. I've been in positions where I moved in with friends and it was a horrible experience, and I've been, you know, in positions like what I have now where it's been perfectly fine because we mesh really well. It really just comes down to knowing each other's habits and how you live and how you mesh together in those ways. I enjoy this greatly. I like coating the entire little cabin in soap. Alright. Okay. Sorry I'm quiet. I'm thinking about the leftover pasta I have in the fridge that I'm absolutely going to demolish before I go to bed. The air fryer made me think of my lunch, which I had chicken sandwiches that were delicious, and now I'm just reminded that I'm hungry and that I also have leftovers that I am super looking forward to eating. I'm out of cereal, though. I should go get more cereal. But I have not felt like going to the store. So that is a day off task. My next off day is Tuesday, so... Assuming that I'm not ready to collapse, as I have been the last several days, Tuesday will be a day for errands, as well as a day for more streaming. Octopath, probably. So, we'll see. Okay, I want this. Not close enough. Not close enough. Damn it. Ah. Come on. There we go. God damn it, I'm not close enough. There we go. Alright. We're just going to spread out from here. I don't know why doing the soap is so satisfying. Alright. Just gonna cover as much of this as I can in the soap. This way. Yep. Okay. Here we go. I love that the different things like move when you hit the water, like the kettle and the hanging light. All right. And the soap just makes it so nice because then you just like hose it down with a lighter nozzle and it just ding, 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 ding. Really satisfying. Nice. Little dog bowl. Aw, please wipe your paws. Cute. All right. I think we've hosed off all of the soap that we've used thus far. So let's go this way. Let the soap refill. My tootsies hurt, but I don't want to sit. I don't want to give in. Do a little stretch. I thought about like doing something like with OBS where like a reminder pops up every so often to like do a stretch break, and then we can like do a little break to do some stretches. I haven't sat down and like actually set it up in OBS yet, and since I have to redo my camera positioning, that's going to be a pain in the butt, but that's one thing that is on the docket, just because I think it would be fun to have like little built-in stretch breaks, because I kind of have it for water, but nothing that like pops up on the stream itself, and I think that would be cool, just like having a built-in reminder, not just for me, but you know, on the off chance someone were to join me, just be like, oh yeah, you know, everybody should take a break and stretch. That's another mod, actually. Going back to Stardew modding, there was one, it was like Stardew Health Reminder. And so you can configure how often it is in the settings, like in the mod config. And it'll be like, just reminders like, hey, take a break, drink some water, do some stretching. Like, you know, little stuff like that is fun. There's similar mods where it like, there's like an extreme one where it like kicks you back to the start, the title screen at the end of every game, in-game day, as just like an extra preventative measure for so you don't get sucked into like hours and hours and hours of gameplay, which I think is super interesting and definitely needed for a lot of titles, not just Stardew. Yeah, little stuff like that is fun. And I've definitely needed, like, my streamer bot reminders, just, like, they're not reminding me during gameplay anymore. I don't know if it's, like, a setting or what. But at the very least, I do remember to drink water while I stream. Just because I talk so much. But, you know, having little stuff like that helps. And I definitely need to do more stretching on stream, especially, like, with my wrists. That's one that I really want to have set up, because my hands and my wrists are in horrific shape. Like, even now I can kind of feel like my left wrist is having a less than stellar time. I'm going to remove my watch so I can charge it. Alright, so that's going to charge. And I'm going to put on my compression gloves for my hands. Wrong one. There's one. And here's the other. We're probably not going to go too much longer. I'm probably going to finish this level because I think we're pretty close. And then call it there for the night. I say close. Like, I think this little cabin area is like the last bit that we need to finish up. And then we can be done with this job. Okay, I need the stool so I can reach higher on the roof. Ah! This one's not tall enough. Let's get the big boy. Cannot have it on the structure, but can get close. Oh, right, there's extensions. I forgot about that. The long extension. I forgot. That helps. Oh, yeah, that super helps. See, I forget about the tools all the time. Screw that. We're just gonna use the extensions. Until I need to get on the actual frickin' roof. Extension. Hearing some funky noises out there. Oh, we're out. Okay. All right. See, the soap is just so satisfying. Because then you just go and it's ding, 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 ding. Super nice. All right. Okay. Oh, that's why. Okay. All right. This is coming up pretty easily. Nice. Probably because I have the extension. Alright. We are just tearing through this. Alright. Do we want to do the soap, or do we want to just keep going like this? I say we give this a shot. Because it seems to be doing pretty alright with the extension. Oh yeah, we're down to the wire here. Once it starts showing us the target. Alright. Nice. Alright. Let's move to this one. Keep hitting E and not R when I mean to rotate. Yeah, it's a good thing we're wrapping up with this one here too, because my everything below my hips is killing me. Hips, knees, ankles, toes, feet. Yeah. Everything hurts. Alright. Let's get as much of this cleaned up as possible. Alright. Okay. What are you pointing at? Oh, this one. There we go. Yes, I know the roof. Don't worry. We are here. Alright, nice. Neat. Up. Nope. R. Yeah, that's not quite strong enough. I would pull out the soap again, but we're just so close to being done. And this is doing a good enough job. I really don't feel it's necessary. Cool. So close. So close. Come on. Nice. So close. Nope. Come on. Nice. Okay. Where are we still missing? What? Is it the dog bowl? Is this not clean? Oh my god. Sneaky, sneaky. And then there's something else. Where is it though? This one. Just little bits and bobs. Okay. Where? Oh. This. There we go. Chimney flashing. Ugh, do I have to go back up? There we go. And the fire pit capstone. Which is this over here. Nice. Okay. Let's watch our little time lapse here. I've just heard that we've got our deposit back, and after watching that amazing vid, I'm not surprised. Incredible, incredible job. Thank goodness for you and that amazing portable power washer of yours. Hopefully the bear, or whatever it is, didn't wake up and bother you. We left it sleeping in the lodge and didn't know whether to mention it or not. Alright then. So silly. Okay. Hi, buddy. I'm gonna give everybody a pat before we wrap up for the night. Aw. Okay. It is definitely time for me to wrap up so I can go to bed. This was fun. This was a good time. I've had this game on the back burner since it was gifted to me, and I just really wanted something simple tonight since I'm just exhausted and recovering from whatever funk I've been in for the last week. So this was a good time. Like you said, I think I said before, I'm off on Tuesday. Fingers crossed, assuming life does not kick me in the dick repeatedly like it has been. We'll be back, hopefully with more Octopath. We'll see what happens. At this point, I'm not trying to commit to anything. Just because the last week has shown me that, you know, life really does not give a shit what I want to do. But yeah, for now, I'm going to bed. And I suppose we'll be back Tuesday, or ideally Tuesday, next time.